Hey guys. Seriously been trying to get this video all day, but I had a ton of stuff going on. So anyway, welcome. This is part 2. So yesterday I did a video on the 6 things I wish I knew back when I first quit my day job to take my business full time. And today I'm going to tell you 4 more things that I wish I knew back then. So 10 total. So if you haven't watched the first video, be sure to do that by going over to the videos tab on my Facebook page. And we'll just move this dog over here. He doesn't like what's on TV right now. Anyway, okay, so if you haven't seen the first part of this video, be sure to go to my Facebook page and click the videos tab and check out the video at the top, which is the 6 things I wish I knew back when I first quit my job. And here are 4 more for you. So number 4 is that you actually can trust your intuition and your inner guidance. So this was something that I actually used to follow completely. Like I would just do whatever ideas came to me. I would not worry about if they were things that other people were doing, or, I didn't make a plan a lot of times. I would just go, okay, what do I feel like making this month? What do I feel like selling this month? And I would just sell whatever I came up with, whatever ideas came to me. So maybe it was a new book or a new course or a new workshop. It was sort of up to whatever just felt like, yes, I'm going to do this. And then I worked with a coach. Well, it was more like a workshop, but a couple of years ago, and they actually told me, okay, you need to stop following your intuition and you need to start using a strategy, which if you saw my video yesterday, I talked about the fact that strategy doesn't matter. So that was a huge, huge lesson for me. When I actually heard someone tell me that, it hit me like, okay, this is something that I need to ignore. So like I was saying, when you take workshops and courses and stuff like that, sometimes you hear things that you think like, oh, that doesn't really suit you. It doesn't really fit me, or I feel like that doesn't really feel like something I would actually do or how I would want to do it. So just know that you actually can trust your intuition. You actually can trust the nudges, the ideas, the things that you get inside. Because I think for a lot of times I had all these ideas and stuff I wanted to do, but I would tell myself stuff like, well, maybe that's not really a good idea, or maybe I can't actually trust the nudge I feel to take that action or to, create that thing. Whereas now when I just listen to that and I go, oh, I got this great idea for a workshop, or oh, I got this great idea for a project or whatever, those have always been the most successful things that I've done in my business. They've been the most successful things that I've done just in general, just things that either were the most fun, they made me the most money, they had the most impact on people's lives. I started a workshop a few weeks back, so about 4 weeks ago, called the Manifestation Experiment. Totally random idea that just came to me one day. I call these divine downloads, where basically I'll just be sitting around and suddenly, boom, this idea comes in my head. And I call that a divine download, which I think is a direct, intuitively guided idea. And so I thought, manifestation experiment, that sounds amazing. And I just started writing down all these ideas of what I could, turn that into. And it ended up being a workshop that I put together. So before I even launched it, I had, sort of giving myself like, okay, should I do this? Should I not do this? And again, sort of getting to that point where I was ignoring something I know is true, which is you can trust your intuition, you can trust your inner guidance, and you can trust the ideas that you get. So I immediately decided, okay, I'm going to act on this, I'm going to do it. I put the workshop together, and we just finished it yesterday. So yesterday was the official last day of the workshop, although we're actually continuing more forward on it, and I will tell you guys about that later. But it was one of the best workshops I've ever run. It was one of the most fun. Everybody got amazing results, including a person who manifested a car, which was crazy, but seriously awesome. And so you actually can trust your intuition and trust your inner guidance. So if you get these ideas and these nudges, act on them. Don't tell yourself that they don't matter or that you shouldn't do it. Act on it. So that coach, that workshop that I went to, where they told me I needed to stop listening to my intuition and have a strategy, was some of the worst business advice I've ever gotten. So I would say ignore that if you ever hear someone say that, because you actually can trust the intuition that you have for ideas and things like that. And obviously, I think personally that those are the best ones. Those are the ones that get you to a place where you're actually the happiest, where you actually have the most fun in your business, and that you're not just doing stuff because you think you should be. So I feel like the traditional way of creating things in your business, products and things, is asking, what problems do my ideal clients have and how can I solve these? Which isn't a bad idea. It's a good starting point if you don't have any ideas. But the other thing is that if you get a nudge about something or an idea and you think, well, like, I don't know what problem that solves, or I don't know if people would actually even want that. So then we'll talk ourselves out of it, because we're like, oh, that's not how it's typically done. Like, that's not how they say to do it. Like, you're supposed to ask your people what they want. You're supposed to solve their problems. And so if you're not doing that, then, why would they sign up, or why would they buy it? And it's like, just do it anyway, because you just never know where those nudges or those ideas come from. And maybe that's the thing your community actually needs, and that's why that idea came to you. So like when I created, back in January, I did a workshop called The Unstoppable Writer. And this idea came to me like the end of last year. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do like a writing habits workshop called The Unstoppable Writer. And I'm going to help people get their writing habits in place for 2018. That was another divine download. I actually have a rule in my business now, which if you see this little blue thing behind me here, that's actually my my write-up about my business, my mission, and the values that my business operates by. And one of them is act on divine downloads, which is when you get an idea or a nudge, you act on it, especially when you feel this energetic pull of like, this is a great idea, this is exciting. That's how you find the good stuff. And yeah, maybe it's not something that quote unquote your community needs you to solve that problem for them, but you never know that they might still need it. It's just something that traditionally you wouldn't think of as this is something that would solve their problem. Like the Unstoppable Writer was a hugely successful program. I got over 100 people signed up. In fact, I think there was almost 150 people in that workshop. And it was an extremely low-priced workshop purposely because I was trying to help more people, and the money really didn't matter as much. It was more about the idea in the workshop. But the whole thing was that it came from a divine download that was completely intuitive. It wasn't like I just said, oh, what do they need the most? Oh, it's January, so I should do a writing habits workshop because that's what everybody needs in January. It just happened to come that way. The idea sort of came that way. So number 4 of my, top 10 things is that you can trust these intuitive nudges that you get. And actually those are going to be the best offers, the best products, the best services, because they come directly through you from, your higher self. And those are always the best things for me anyways. Those have been the most successful for me, the most fun. And really by taking that action and telling myself that I'm only going to do things or only create things when they are a divine download, I've actually had a lot more fun in my business since then, and I've enjoyed actually offering the service or offering the workshop. I've enjoyed it more than ever before because I'm not forcing myself into these, oh, well, this is what my audience needs because this is the problem that they have right now. Like, no. That does work, but there's another way to do it too, which is to energetically, feel out your community and what do they need energetically, and then deliver that to them. So trust the intuition that you get, the intuitive nudges, because they are real and you can bring them to life. So that would be my number 4 for things I would tell myself back then. Would I have listened to that back then? I don't know, but I definitely would have liked to know it back then. Okay, number 3 on the list is throw away the rules. So yesterday in my video when I talked about the 6 things I wish I knew, so the first 6 of the 10, I talked about things like getting rid of strategy doesn't matter and the numbers don't matter, and all of this sort of aligns with the idea of getting rid of the rules. But this also I feel like is a separate thing too, because there are so many rules that we tell ourselves in business, like so many rules we think we have to follow, and it's all bullshit. You don't have to. So someone in business or a business consultant, if you went to them and said, I have this product that I want to sell, how should I do that? They would recommend things like have a sales page and hire someone to do your copy, and make sure you have a whole bunch of testimonials so that people know that your stuff works, and all that is great, but you don't need it either. So I have sold things directly from a link on a Facebook post or from an email. No sales page, no testimonials, like it's a brand new offer, so I don't have any testimonials yet for it. I sell it with no problem. So you don't have to follow the rules of traditional business and the things that people say you should do. I've sold a ton of stuff without having a sales page. I've sold a ton of stuff without having a ton of testimonials because it's a brand new product. I've never sold it before and it still sells. So it's like you have to just throw the rules out the window because they don't actually matter at all. Like, that's one of the best things. And the cool part is that you get to make your own rules. So I came up with this new rule recently where I don't do any work until 1 p.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Central Time every single day. That's it. So the mornings are completely my time to do whatever I feel like doing. I'll, do my morning practice. I might write. Sometimes I'll listen to like Abraham Hicks, or I'll do definitely my mindset practice and my energy stuff. I'll eat some breakfast. Sometimes I'll get my workout in, but it's always stuff that I feel like doing that I consider to be like soul work. And I don't do any actual physical, like these are work for my clients or this is work I have to do for my business until after 1 p.m. So that's my time to just enjoy my day, enjoy, getting my energy in a aligned place so that I can operate from that place for the rest of the day and have a really high vibe energy when I go out there and create stuff and work with my clients and all of that. So throw out the rules and really write your own, because the whole thing is that it's your business, and also that the point is for it to be fun for you and for you to actually have freedom. And that's why you want to have a business. That's why you want to quit your job and do that full time at some point, because you want the freedom that comes with it. But for me, when I first quit my job, I didn't have a lot of freedom. I was still working 9 hours a day, sometimes more. I can't even tell you how many social functions that I've skipped over the years because I told myself it was more important to be working than it was to be going out and having social time. That's all bullshit. Like, you do not have to work 24/7 just because you own your own business. Like, I know entrepreneurs who work 3-4 hours a day and sometimes less, and they run super successful businesses. So it's not about following someone else's rules. Throw the rules out the window, come up with your own rules that work for you, and give yourself permission to change them when they don't work for you anymore. So when I first quit my job, all I wanted to do was be home all the time and be able to work in my pajamas, and that was it. Sleep until 8 or 9 because I was used to getting up at 5 a.m. or whatever. So those were my rules back then. But as I became, doing this full time and not having to answer to anybody else, and as the years went on, I realized like those rules are super restricting. They were causing me to have to work way more than I wanted to. I almost felt like I still had a day job because it was like, oh, I got to be at my desk at 8 and I got to work until 5. And so I had to let that stuff go and stop trying to play by the rules of business. You don't have to work 1,000,000 hours to be successful. And really, the most successful people I know don't work that many hours. They work less hours, and they actually take better care of themselves, and they actually make more money in their businesses because of that, because they have great energy and they have a lot of clarity. And because they take good care of themselves, when ideas come through, they hear them, they can act on them right away, and they can make it happen. So throw out the rules. The rules do not matter. Write your own rules for your business and be open to changing them when you want to. So don't feel like you have to keep those same ones if something feels like it's not working. So for me, I tried to implement the no work before 1 p.m. rule last year for myself, and then I kept going back on it because I would have people say, oh, can we meet in the morning? Could we have a call at 10 a.m.? And I would just go, okay, yeah, sure. But now I'm like, no, these are my boundaries. I do not do anything work related until 1 p.m. That's it. Whatever I do before that is my soul work, my time to just do my thing, and that's it. Those are my new rules, and when I feel like changing them, I will. And that's the best part, is that you get to change the rules, you get to write the rules, and you don't have to live by anyone else's rules. So that's what I would tell myself back then, because when I first quit, I thought I had to follow all these other things that these other entrepreneurs were doing, and get at my desk for 8 hours and all of that, or work more because I'm an entrepreneur, so I have to work harder. No, it doesn't have to be harder. It can be easier. It should be easier because you work for yourself now. So you get to make the rules, you get to decide, what you're doing and all of that. But if you're gonna throw the rules out the window, and I, completely believe that you should, then you definitely have to implement my number two thing that I would say I wish I knew back then, which is hire help sooner than later. That was a huge one for me. It was super hard for me because I am a control freak. I am absolutely the worst at delegating and giving up control because I like to do everything myself. I think for the last 10 years. So I started my blog 10 years ago tomorrow, amazingly, and I've done everything myself since then. So every little tech thing I've had to set up, every blog launch, whatever I had going on in my entire business for 10 years now, I've done it all myself for the most part. I may have had 1 or 2 times where I had someone helping me, but for the most part, it's always been me. And this has actually been a bottleneck that has stopped me from achieving a higher level of success that I knew I could have had by now. Because I was too afraid to get help. I was too afraid to invest the money. I was too afraid to hand things off to people because I was afraid that they couldn't do it as well as I could, or they wouldn't understand. And it took me a lot of years of hiring people and then getting rid of them and stopping myself until I finally realized, like, if you're the CEO, which if you own a business, you're the CEO, you can't be doing everything. One of my coaches told me this a few years ago and I didn't listen, but she said a CEO should never be doing a $25 an hour task, which means if this task is something that you could hire somebody for $25 an hour or less to do, then you shouldn't be doing it. I did not heed that advice for a very long time. So it took me a lot of years to finally get to a place where I was comfortable saying, okay, I can't do everything myself. But for the last decade, I have pretty much worn I'm a one-woman show as a badge of honor. And I honestly thought like I'm a badass because I do everything myself and I know how to do absolutely everything you could ever need to do in your online business. Like I know how to do it all because I did it all in my business. You know, I set everything up, I figured everything out, I learned how to do everything, and I did it all myself. So I was really proud of that. And not to say that it's a bad thing, but it's also a bottleneck that stopped me from growing as much as I could have over the last, 5-6 years. So now I have help. I have a digital content manager who is a total freaking badass, and she's super fast at everything. She gets stuff done without me even like having to tell her or thinking about it. She's literally like having another version of me, which is amazing. And if I had known in the beginning that I could have had people like that helping me, I probably would have hired help sooner. So that's one thing I would say to you if you are in a business right now, if you're starting a business or if you've been in business for a while, is think about hiring someone to help you, even if it's only for a few hours a week. So my person helps me for 3 to 5 hours a week. That's pretty much where we're at right now. And sometimes it's even less than that because she's so fast. She gets stuff done so quickly. That little bit of money that you would invest is going to free up so much of your time. And I've had her working with me for maybe like a month now, and it has been so amazing to just hand certain things off and be like, here, can you do this and do this? And then I have actually been able to have that time in the morning where I just do my own thing and I don't worry about working because I know she's got my back. She's taking care of the stuff that I don't need to be doing. And I'm super excited about this year because I know I'm going to get to hand off even more stuff to her. She's going to get to do more stuff, and I know that she enjoys what she's doing. So it's actually really valuable for her to be learning this stuff because that's stuff she actually wants to learn herself. But then it's also helping me because now I'm able to free myself up to do what I would call the zone of genius stuff. So zone of genius is more like the things you're super, super good at that no one else could do for you because those are the things that you have to do, like creating content and making workshops and teaching live streams and stuff like that. So no one can replace me for those tasks because that's the stuff that I'm great at. But for the other stuff, like setting up emails or, sending out stuff for your groups that you run or making Canva images for your social media, like that is shit that a person who runs the business should not be doing. But I was doing all that stuff and I was doing it for a very long time. So I would try to ask myself, like, why do I feel like I got nothing done this week? Well, that's why, because I was still doing all of these tasks that I could have hired somebody to do frickin' forever ago. So that was something that if I had been told that back when I first started, again, I might not have listened, but at least it would have been on my radar that I should hire somebody. Because it wasn't until the last year or so where I finally realized oh shit, I should hire someone to help me. I don't know why I never thought of it before. Maybe because I'm a control freak, so I just thought, no, I'm going to do this myself. But now I realize that it's actually fun to have a team and have another person who supports what I do and who loves my brand and knows all about what I do in my business so that she can actually go out there and create stuff with the energy of somebody who believes in my message as much as I do. So it's actually amazing and freeing to have somebody helping because now I can do more than I'm already doing as a one-woman show. So please do not wear being a one-woman show or a one-man show, if you're a guy, whatever, don't wear that as a badge of honor. Get help. Even if it's an intern. So I've had a couple of interns over the years. Last summer, one of my cousins interned for me and it was amazing. She was amazing. She took care of so much stuff. And it just helps to have some relief in your business and to have somebody taking over some of the tasks that just get in your way as far as this is the thing you end up doing instead of actually doing stuff you should be doing, like creating content, like, making sales videos for your sales pages or doing live streams that will connect with your audience or creating a new freebie that's going to get people on your email list. But instead of doing that stuff, you end up spending your time doing things like posting on social media and making quote pictures and, simple things that you could hire someone to do for you. So if it was back, 6 years ago, that is what I would tell myself as the number 2 thing that you have to do or should do in your business, and that is hire help sooner rather than later. Okay, and then my number 1 thing. So yesterday I was saying I was going to tell you the number 1 thing today that I wish I knew back in 2012 when I first quit my job, and that is feel good. So freaking simple, ridiculously simple actually, but it's so true. Just feel good. And if you only focus on that in your business, in your life, just doing things that feel good to you, you will be amazed at how easy things become, how quickly you find happiness, how quickly you find success. Because when you're doing stuff that feels good, you feel good, and then you raise your vibration. And when you raise your vibration to a level where you are feeling so good, then you're on that same vibrational frequency as all the things you're asking for, all the dreams that you have, all the goals that you have. So it just starts happening easier and faster because you feel good. So this is a crazy thing for me, but for some reason, I just always thought like, you have to struggle and you have to hustle and it has to feel like you're working really hard, because if it doesn't feel that way, then you didn't really earn it or you didn't really deserve it. And that is all bullshit that we have been programmed. It's not true. It's limiting beliefs. And really, why would you want to be doing stuff in your business that doesn't feel good? That for me was such a slap in the face. Like when I finally accepted as like, yeah, duh, that's what it's all about. Like feel good. And if you just focus on the stuff that actually makes you feel good and let the other stuff go, you'll be so surprised how quickly you actually find yourself enjoying your life more and your business more. So for me, that's what I did. So end of last year, when I launched Dream Life or Bust, I made the decision that this is it. Like I'm not doing anything else that isn't a hell fuck yes for me, which I talked about in the video yesterday. I'm not doing anything that's not a hell yes. I'm saying no unless it feels hell yes to me. And I'm only doing things that feel good now. So if something starts feeling bad or if it feels off, then I'm either going to get rid of it completely, or I'm going to figure out how to make it feel good. Because maybe there's some things that you have to do in your business that don't feel great, but maybe there's a way to find a way to make them feel better. So as an example, taxes. I hate doing taxes because I suck at numbers. I hate doing math and adding shit up. It's just super annoying to me. So one way that I make my taxes more fun, because obviously you have to do your taxes, is that I put on, so like I get all my stuff together and then I sit with my favorite movies and I just watch the movies and I do the tax stuff. And that's one way for me to at least feel like it's semi-fun. So even though I hate math and I don't want to do the taxes, at least if I can watch a fun movie, then I don't feel as bad about the fact that I'm sitting there wasting time having to do taxes. So if you can find things that you have to do, find ways to make them fun. Add music in, watch a movie while you're doing it, whatever, works for you, but just find a way to make it feel fun so that it doesn't feel like a drag. The last thing you want to do is be spending time in your business doing shit that just feels like a drag. And for me, that's what a lot of what I was doing in my business felt like for a very long time. So up until probably the last 6 to 8 months, it just didn't feel fun to me as much. Like, yeah, working with my clients was great, doing my workshops was great, but then all the other stuff I was doing just felt like every day was the same. And really, I just would get to the end of the day and ask myself, what did I even do today? Like, I just felt like I wasn't really hitting any of the goals that matter to me. But again, that came down to not hiring help soon enough. So I was still doing way too much shit that just wasn't enjoyable for me, that someone else would be better at anyhow. And so if I just decided to feel good, then I would have gotten rid of those tasks a long time ago. And feeling good being the most important factor in anything, because if you feel good, then everything just works better, and it just you just have a better energy, and a better energy attracts better people, better clients, and all of that. So that is my number one thing that I would tell myself back 6 years ago that I probably wouldn't have listened to, but now I will. And so all of these 10 things that I've told you guys over the last 2 days in these videos are things that I am now implementing and living fully in my own business. So I'm not following rules anymore, and I'm completely doing what feels good to me, and I'm following my intuition on everything, and I'm just saying, does this feel right? Does this not? Is this idea feel like something I want to do? And that's it. And I'm not worrying about strategies. I'm not worrying about numbers or any of that shit, because it just doesn't really matter. So that is all I have for you guys, and I hope this 2-part series on the 10 things I would have told myself back then when I first quit my job has been helpful. Thanks so much for being here and for helping me to celebrate my 6-year Quitiversary, which I'm just so freaking excited about, and to be entering into year 7 of my business and being full-time. It's amazing, and I can't wait to see what this year has to offer for us. And of course, my 10-year blogiversary is tomorrow, so my blog is officially 10 years old tomorrow, which is so cool, because when I started that thing in 2008, I was the biggest procrastinating writer on the planet. Like, literally procrastinated like a motherfucker about everything. And you couldn't find me sitting down to write for 15, 20 minutes a day, even if I was being paid to, I probably wouldn't have done it back then. It was so hard for me, and the only thing I wanted that year was to write the first draft of my novel and to do 1 blog post a week for the whole year. That was it, and I made that happen, And since then, I've just been growing from there. And now I'm to a place where, I'm very consistent with my writing, and I put out books every year. And I've just always got creative projects going on, and I have seriously good self-discipline about doing what matters. And it didn't happen overnight. Like I said, if you knew me in 2008, I was the biggest procrastinating writer in the world. I called myself the Queen Procrastinator. My blog was called Procrastinating Writers. That's how bad it was. But I overcame it. And if I can do that, then so can you. If you feel like you're feeling stuck in your business or in your life, if you're procrastinating too much on stuff, if you feel like you're not where you want to be yet, just know that you can get there. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, but if you just keep at it, keep trying to be consistent. When you fall off, don't make it a big deal. Just get back on track. And eventually, as you keep doing that, you'll find yourself in the place that you've wanted to be. So for me, when I think back 6 years ago, it was absolutely a dream to be where I am right now, which is working full-time for myself, making a really good income that more than replaced the day job income that I used to make. I live in a freaking awesome city. I have a badass high-vibe apartment that's super awesome, super luxurious. We have awesome amenities, like all these things that I wanted back then, and now I have them. So it's a journey. It's not a destination, and there's so much more. Once you get where you think you want to go, there's always more to come. So enjoy the journey. That's the whole point. Feel good and enjoy the journey. And those are the biggest lessons that I've learned over the last decade, and especially the last 6 years. So I hope this helps you guys. I would love to hear from you. I know a lot of you are going to watch this as a replay, so feel free to comment if you have any thoughts on any of the stuff I said, if you have any questions. And if you want to know how good you can feel, because feeling good is the whole point, then be sure to check out the free challenge that I'm running that starts Monday, March 26th. It's called How Good Can You Feel? And it's all about how to feel as good as possible. We're going to spend the entire week focused on feeling as badass as we can every single day for 7 full days. How good can you feel? Go to dreamlifeorbust.com/feelgood to sign up for the free challenge. And I will catch you guys next time.